getting ready, etc.
So here, let me ask you a question. And I know you probably never been asked this question. What was you doing before that?
What
You
before
said you
what?
putting a shirt on, taking a shirt off, right? Something like that.
Oh yeah,
Was
but
it hot?
before that,
Was it just yeah? Was it just because it was hot or something? You was just changing clothes.
no, I was getting ready because like after we hear a scream, we go out and look for all that stuff. We come back in. Um, and the kids they went to the main. I stayed in the cabin. I started getting ready because as you can see by the text messages I released it publicly or whatever. Trying to meet Andy when he gets off and gets back to the house to pick me up so we can go out. So I'm starting to get ready, but at that point, I thought he was going to be on time, right?
But he wasn't on time.
He wasn't. He let me know he wasn't going to be shortly after that, but I was already getting ready at that point for what I assumed at those minutes was him, getting off and going to be on time. But he wasn't. Just a few minutes later, he let me know he wasn't, and whatever. But so prior to that,
What was Candace doing at this time? And Don, now Don was supposedly at work, right?
yeah.
Do you
But
think Don was
I
at
don't
work?
know what you were doing. Now around 5:30, when I'm putting on a shirt and stuff, I hear like a car hit the driveway over there. But it took a little. I was like, man, what the fuck, And after I heard a thing, and I knew it was like, yeah, yeah, that's what the fuck. But none of it makes sense with everything else. So it's like I always like doubted myself. It was like, no, I know. And that day I didn't. It was like almost my brain didn't want to catalog because it was such a normal noise at 5:32. And it was like, man, something's, but all these things come together, and you realize, well, why? You're like, well, why the fuck were the cars going up and down over there at 5:30 and all this other shit? And
So there was cars, more than
there was
one.
a car, there was something I didn't hear it come down, but I did hear it hit back up. But I know that it was one of the two heavier vehicles over there. So I
Okay.
know Candace or Grandis, one of the heavier ones, you know, um, coming back up into the, driveway at 110. And then at, around 6 is when the calls for summer start, where they're yelling for and things outside. And
So let me tell you
then,
what I did. Let me tell you what I did. Nobody knows about this. I took, we took and took a vehicle right there in the middle part of the road there, being hill of the road. When you get right up the top of the hill there, and then we took something coming out of the holler there, just to see if we could verify noise, see if we could hear, just to see if we could hear. And you
are you talking
can
about
hear,
the
you can
driveway or
hear
are you talking about the road?
the from the driveway. You can hear from the driveway. You can hear something coming up the road.
In her driveway or ours at 125?
And her driveway on top of the hill there, just to make
Yeah.
sure you can hear it coming up the hill. You can hear the rock spot. You know what a rock
Mm-hmm.
spot is? The rock spatting. Anyways, it you can hear the rocks kicking. You can hear that because
Yeah.
you have to be able to hear that in order because the road is so tore up and destroyed that you have to get up on the gas if you've got a regular vehicle to get up that some bitch, right?
Well, no, it depends on if you know how to fucking drive around. It's like you've seen
Well,
my driveway, right? I
exactly.
could get my Kia Soul up that some bitch, but they couldn't get four
But
wheel
when you
drive.
throw, but when you throw it down in gear, you throw it in bulldog mode. You throw it in lower gear, right? And it goes
All
up it easier, right?
their cars made different noises, and as long as
It,
they know how to
it,
drive, you can barely hear them. It
but
just
it
depends.
goes into what we call bulldog gear. It goes up the road. You hear the rock splattering as it's climbing. You hear, and you can
Oh,
hear the rocking of it.
well, I mean, like, not with all the cars and not the way we drive. It's like you could hear, like, say the red Subaru, right? They have. It would do this certain type of thing as it kicked over and picked up, right? And
Because a
then,
front wheel drive will do different than a rear wheel drive will. Yeah, you'll hear that.
well,
All
those
cars
Subaru,
that goes up that way. Go ahead.
but they kick in, the traction kicks in, it does a different thing. Dawn, you can always tell it's him in the white truck because of the way he has to do a little pickup and go, but the gravels aren't too bad. The two heavier ones, they do different things. One will grab differently, and I know the amount like the amount of times like the tire spins, before it picks up traction and goes as gears shift, and different things with each of the cars. We all know each other's vehicle sounds and things. Like I know the other ones beside of them that are connected to their property and, their door slams and the work vehicles and all these other things, it just depends, but we don't have to dog the shit out of those driveways like most people do or think they have to. It's like I could get my straight drive Kia Soul up that, and I know the public, I've seen it driveway, but thing is, I could get it up there just fine with ruts that would eat most trucks, and I could, get it around them and everything else. But they couldn't get 4-wheel drives or anything else up it. And,
Well,
you know,
like you said, just depends on how you drive.
how you drive, what what you're doing, whatever,
So who was driving? Who was driving these vehicles?
which
The
which
vehicles that you're talking about, referring to up there down the highway.
like up Candace's driveway. I don't.
Yeah.
When I heard at 5:30, I don't know who was behind it.
Well,
You
what about the
know,
other one? What about the other one that was drove?
the one
There's
with the
multiple.
flash going up the driveway that day as well. I don't know who the fuck, or what the
Okay.
fuck that was. And then, but at like after 6:09, it was Candace driving, uh,
Hmm.
vehicle. But
When's the first time you seen Don that day?
I seen him when he come down the main road, and Candace and everybody still at the end, etc. Ben Hill,
Right.
all the neighborhood was coming in to try to help the. We'd already searched on the other neighbor. I mean, but the others were coming in and floating in to help, and uh, Dawn and Andy arrive about the same time. Andy's already talked to Candace. Dawn comes in just a minute or two later.
So
Uh,
Candy let. So wait a minute. Candace let Don or Andy know that Summer was missing, right?
yeah, Andy stops the car. I can see him right there, right at the
Okay, so
street.
she stops the car. So this ain't a conversation through text or phone. She actually physically stops the car and she starts talking to him. How
The car
far?
usually parked there. She's
Right, right.
waiting.
Okay. How far along was Don? Was he before Andy or after Andy that he came
He
up?
he was after Andy, and it was just like I'm a couple minutes,
Right.
different.
So how was
But
Don's expression? What? How was Don's?
I
I
don't
mean,
know
his look.
what I still hadn't like. I could see the boys, and so I was still curved when I seen Andy stop and talk to Candace, and I could hear him talking. I knew she'd kind of let him know because I could hear parts of the conversation down that way. But then he was coming on down Beach Creek Main Road, and I went back to the end of the guardrail just to flag him down, let him know I was out there. He seen me, he stopped, and I told him I was like, Summer's missing. He's like, I know. I was like, well, I thought that's what you were stopped down there for, but I just want to make sure, and I'm right here. And then he drove on down the road looking for this and the other, but in the meantime, I and the other neighbor, we made our way towards, where the boys were and where they'd made it to looking for Summer. And I talked to the boys, then we made our way back through the middle of the cleared field out between Candace's Hill and Main Road, and met other neighbors. I explained to them what Summer looked like, told them what we'd already searched and done. Obviously they knew there was everything kind of been covered by that point just by two of us, but it's worth other eyeballs and everything. So they were searching and helping and starting to flow in. But
Right.
then
Okay. So let me
I
ask you a question. When's the first time? When's the first time you met Benny Keys?
met him.
Yeah.
I've never met Benny Keys in
You've never
person.
physically met Benny Keys.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, that's something I needed to know there because I'd always heard that you met when he came up. I didn't know. So you just seen him, right? Did you just see him or something, or was you just in and out and seen him, or just?
I've seen him come by here doing shit when he was visiting Candace and all in the past couple of when he was here for the vigil in June this year with the 1 year and then or no, he wasn't not this one.
So you do know that there was the messages I was referring to earlier when I first mentioned that to you that there was a message that was talking about something about laundering money or something like that. Something about I've got too much, I've got to get rid of some of this money, and it was supposed to be to you. You heard anything like that?
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it was between you and BK.
The fuck?
I remember I showed it on the one of the live things and everything. It was said.
There was nothing like that ever fucking sent between me and Keys like that ever.
Okay, so I
He,
didn't know. I didn't know because I've got a message. I just want to know if it's real or not. That's why I'm trying to verify the validity of if it's real. I've got something that's like a messenger. I have to go back and look at it and find it, but I've got one that somebody sent. There was a screenshot supposedly one of you guys had taken. It was when BK was grabbing money for um, Cash App for Candace or something like that, and this happened to be on one of the screenshots.
I don't
And
know what that
that's
is.
why when I wanted to talk to you back then, I mean, this is
But I
like
will
way
say
back then.
only that I've shown mine and BK's like entire conversation online, right? I've shown it. And then he went around at one point trying to like refute it by like blocking out certain things he said that I'd already shown. But he literally admitted to being the one that told Chase to have the handoffs between Gemini Hippie or whatever and Ginger Snap before it got to Chase. They were supposed to be checking the P.O. box because Benny said so, and then Chase was supposed to get it at the end. But he took credit for that and admitted to it to me in Messenger. But other than that, no, you know, it's
Okay,
nothing.
I just asking. I didn't know. I mean, I've got thousands. I mean, like literally thousands on this thing, and it's just screenshots. It's a lot of screenshots and stuff. But to be
There is
honest
a
with you,
whole
I have never. Go ahead.
more I've ever like spoken to BK like in like I won't even cooperate with BK this far. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
so far,
right.
I've asked more questions in a legitimate manner than BK ever has or will ever get to
So
speak to.
okay, so now, like I said, I've never studied the case. I've seen things on the true crime community things. A lot have come up about children being sedated. A lot of
Mm.
things that come up with that,
You
and a
talking
lot of
about
things with that. I don't know much about it, but I mean,
you're talking about the FAAFO video that came out after him and TM started targeting me after twisting my fucking words.
so
That
is that what happened? So Benny just twisted your words around to get his narrative out of it, right? To get his agenda.
not TM and the rest of this group did, but they're all together. But Ernie, you know how this fucking works.
Well, I know exactly how it works. You know I do. But
Hey,
TM, but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I knew I was. I can't really say online because it makes me even more sick to even think about it, and I don't like going back to that thought about the players of the Summer Wells case. I don't even like looking at talking about it because it is what it is because it's evil. It's very sick. It's very evil. I told you, or I not told you, but I told people what I thought exactly my opinion of it was. I seen it. I believe exactly what I still stand by that. I stand. Hold on one second. I still stand by that. I stand by that it was child trafficking.
I don't know what it was.
That's what it was, Jody Sue.
Well, when there's proof or something, there's answers, the puzzles come together, the TBI, FBI, somebody lets us fucking know when somebody gets arrested, then I guess we'll all know, right? Until then, all we can keep doing is trying to help find little pieces. And
So the little pieces, I don't think there's little pieces left. I think the main piece, the only piece left is Summer Wells. So let me ask you a question. The little bit of woods that is behind the house there and outside the house around the area there, you
there's
ever seen
really not all the wooded area that's left right there belongs to other neighbors on their
That's
property.
what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It goes up and around. It's thicketed up and all that. Have you, Candace, you ever seen Candace in there? Anywhere in around there?
In the woods?
Yeah, in the woods, anything, going in the woods. Is she a wood person? I know she's a fishing person,
No.
but is she a wood person?
No.
Okay. You see, she was scared to death of those woods for some reason. I thought she was playing a game on that. I didn't know.
Well, she is not a wood person. She doesn't really. She's
Right.
scared of snakes. She's honestly scared. I think she doesn't know what the shit is. She'd
Exactly.
always call me with what's this snake, what's that, and should I kill this, and what the fuck's this, and the kids were also, except for the boys, I mean, but they were all kind of like but they did. I mean, they gravitate like children do towards more.
Right,
And
right. You know, little boys. Yeah, they do. They do. So let me ask
yeah,
you a question. Um, during this time, I've heard this timeline, and this barrel. Remember the barrel, the one
Red
where Summer's in the.
Barrel came
Uh,
from out of the Parkway, and it already had that shit spray painted on it because it
mhm.
was the last one out of a bundle of red barrels that the guy has for sale. I can
Uh,
show you the fucking house it came from. I know where that barrel came from, but it was the one he had it spray painted on to sell the rest of the fucking barrels. So he had to keep going out there and putting up a damn sign.
so that was
And
just a coincidence that it just said for sale on it, right?
yeah,
Okay, okay. So
and
even if it was a
the
coincidence,
guy selling the barrels is on all of our ways home. Dawn would have seen it. Plus, we all have barrels and shit. We burn in them. We collect rainwater, put liners in them. We do all kinds of things with them. And where we
right,
live,
right. Okay, okay. I know the kind. I know the kind. You get the fresh rainwater out of it. I know you put the liner in it and you drain from that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hell, I lived off that shit for a long
plastic,
time.
put a liner in it. But yeah, I mean, it was nothing nefarious about the fucking barrel.
Yeah,
And
okay,
people,
okay.
last thing.
So, do you know exactly when that photo was taken?
It was a video of summer dancing.
And it was screenshotted off the video, right?
Well, they have a still picture of it, but I think the video was not taken, but a few days before summer
Whoa,
vanished.
whoa, 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 whoa. A few days, 2 days before, probably, right?
A few days, I don't know. And
Was
I know there's
Dudley was over there when the photo was taken, the video. Dudley was there, right?
yeah, there's yellow stairs in the background, I believe.
Okay, okay, okay. That's what I thought.
Prior a
So,
few days
so it
prior.
did. So it did rain 2 days prior. I think it was 2 days prior, because I said something about the rain. Somebody said, "No, it did not rain." And yes, it did rain.
It did too fucking rain down there. It did too, and it helped wash away bear prints, and stuff. It absolutely did fucking rain. That's why there was enough water collected on the left side of the creek. It absolutely did fucking rain. Not long, just
Because
like
when it rains, it helps build that creek up that she supposedly went to, right?
dammed and all that stuff too. But
Exactly, exactly.
it was stagnant. When I walked through it, there was parts of it that had, even though it risen, it had enough time to settle again, and so all the stagnation did, where they dammed it up, it was still stuck in there.
Hmm.
And I was walking through all this, it was stagnant, had growth on top of it.
So
Pretty gross.
is it true that CPS was supposed to visit 2 days after that Summer went missing, and they knew that prior?
Visit the next day or something is what the rumor is, but all I'm gonna say is that CPS was already around, already involved, because during the land sale stuff, Candace would be messaging me going, is that, this, or who the fuck are these people parked down there? I'd message her. I'm like, is that DCS, or is this, who the fuck is down here at the bottom? And that's when we figured out the whole land, all this stuff for weeks prior to Summer vanishing. DCS was already involved for weeks.
Did Don ever make visits to these little hotels? They call them open in-house hotels, and have
I know,
sexual affairs with other victims.
I don't know the term other victims, like, he's maybe
When
responsible.
I say hotel, when I say these open in hotels, them extended stay hotels, like a lot of child predators and child traffickers like to use.
I just know he go to Knoxville and other places on his benders here and there, and I don't know what kind of hotels he stayed at. I don't know, and other things are just, all found. But I mean, I don't know. Hell, and the main thing is, Don didn't have to do it. Hell, he would cheat out in the open anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And do weird shit. Hell, he do it right there at the house with Candace in the fucking house. So,
and the kids also.
hmm
The kids also, right?
yeah,
So that's. Let me ask you a question. Did Summer really ever have a chance?
yeah. And I really, honestly, same thing I told law enforcement, because they asked. And, had it been 2 years prior to this, I would have told you no. Uh, but I really thought things were getting better. But then as it comes into view and everything kind of becomes clear to you and you stop and think, the changes that were taking place that we were seeing that we thought meant things were getting better. Actually, like, I think it's semi correlated with Grandis being there. Like, things were a lot calmer in ways if Grandis was there, I guess. And also, there's all kinds of things there that are just off bounds and topics for me, but there was definitely less of the There's definitely less of a whole lot of things when Grandis was present. And so I think Grandis was actually the change, but I wrongly attribute it to Summer getting bigger and wrapping Dawn around her finger, because I promise you she did have Dawn wrapped around her little finger, and wherever Dawn was, Summer was. And he very much paid attention to her, doted over her, and she was not happy unless she was Dawn. And oh, it's just
Let me ask you a question. So, do you believe that what came out about when Don would take showers with Summer?
yeah. And because I've said it, and so have others, we all I didn't know about it until right before she vanished. Like I never
No, no,
asked
whoa,
him.
whoa, whoa, whoa. When you say right before she vanished, um, I vanished. Vanished is a term that something just vanishes in thin air. That's not
Well,
the case with Summer Wells, though.
in terms of answers, that's all you can really say. She's gone. Somebody is responsible for it. But she's been taken. Somebody is responsible for this because she didn't walk off into the goddamn woods like Winnie the Pooh. All right. Somebody is responsible for this. But until we know who and how,
So
what the hell do you really call it? And,
when did
they,
you find out? When did you find out that he did take showers?
I mean, like, just, right before she vanished. But the thing is like, well, you excuse it because they're a little bit more based, they're a little bit more heel type, and you think, well, whatever. But then you're also like, a little old for that, but okay, and all these
So,
other.
so in your mind and in your heart, you thought it was wrong. It's wrong, right? I mean, you obviously like had to second guess, like, oh, well, some parents are different, the way they raise their kids and all that.
I know of other.
But a grown man taking a shower with a child is definitely wrong.
Well, their dynamics were a little different over, so it was more of like a toss
So
up. I didn't like it
exactly,
personally. It's not something I would approve of personally, but they're
because it
that.
was natural. It's natural to them. It's natural to all predators to do that. You know that, right?
Well, not really. I don't know. And, just because they're. That's the thing. You don't want to project. You don't want to say, well, somebody's guilty because this isn't something I
I'm
do. I
not saying
mean,
he's guilty on it. Not saying he's guilty. I'm simply calling him a predator.
well, he's obviously a predator of some variety. I mean, we know by his own admission to me, he's done that to at least one of his sisters. You
At
know,
least one of his sisters. I mean, that's
and
yeah. He's admitted that. He admitted that.
some of his other habits, especially while intoxicated, are like, cringe. He's obviously an abuser, just like he knows Monster is an abuser. They're both like that. Therefore, they're both predators. Both like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know
So
what you're saying. So when you refer to monsters, are you referring to some particular person as a predator
I'm
too?
talking about our particular abuser. I'd just rather not use their name. But you get what I'm saying. Like, there's all kinds of predators. You get what I'm saying? And I understand he's done that to his sister by his own admission. I understand that, you know, all these things, but and that those things are true, but that doesn't mean that he did something to Summer. It doesn't.
But what's the coincidences of that?
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
mean,
would you say that it was slim? I mean, if you have someone, and I'm not trying to put you on a spot or nothing like that, but just hear me out here. If you have someone who sexually abuses this one, he sexually abuses his sister, he's done all this other stuff. He's a predator, and his
well,
actions speak.
are you trying to accuse him of doing something to Summer or of being responsible for June 15th and her vanishing?
I just have a problem with the June 15th
Okay,
altogether.
well, June 15th. If the
I just
cops.
the timeline. I mean, yours fits better than what I've heard. I'll be honest with you. Your timeline does fit better than what I've heard. I've heard 17 different timelines, and that's one thing that threw me plumb off of it. I was like, and this is exactly what I said. When the main eyewitnesses, the people, the eyewitnesses, and the suspects are one and the same, there is no leads. That's criminology. That's criminology. That's prison tactics. That's jail tactics. Everybody knows that when you have a suspect and you have a witness, and if they're the same people, there's no leads. It's called a what? Dead end. That's what this is all set up to be, anyways. I think it was premeditated. I think it was planned ahead of time. I think it was all set for everybody not to be there and people be in place. Whether there was a handoff or not, I
I
think
was
there's something. Go ahead.
one of my puzzles and theories is that something was done on purpose, and that they expected people to say, like with our monster, people expected him to be on time from work, just like I did, right? But often he wasn't, because he was too busy doing things next door to work. But the thing is they expected him, like I, would that day, to be in by 6. So everything's trying to. And then there are other neighbors that come in at certain times, and I think there's a possibility that somebody knew all these things and knew we'd all be kind of outside at certain times of the day or waiting on certain people, and therefore we would be, quote, witnesses. You get what I'm saying? Like, almost like a setup.
Right. I understand that. I
I,
understand 100% that.
I think that could be a possibility. I think other times, well, that's also the time, if you think about it, if somebody takes Summer, you know, uh, like even a stranger, whatever, if they've been watching her or timing when all of us are coming and going, of course, most people get home or around home anywhere between like 5 to 6 o'clock in the evening, because down there it takes you a little bit. Everybody knows it's going to take you a little bit to get there from whatever job you're working, Eastman, Hardee's, Walmart, doesn't matter, right? So you put most people getting home in Beach Creek around a certain time in the evening. And therefore, if you're going to kidnap or harm a little, you're going to have to do it within a certain amount of time. So they're trying to be in and out of there at the same time, too. So it could just be a coincidence, right? And a predator watching and waiting to take her. Um,
But that's usually not how predators work. Predators
mm,
work on instinct. They're like sharks. They're like sharks with blood in the water when it's first instinct. They
yeah,
go off on their own mind. They go off on their own mind. They don't sit and wait, because most predators are afraid to get caught. And here's the fact of the matter is, a predator don't just sit and wait. They'll sit and wait in disguise, but there's no way to disguise yourself on that hill. Anybody would see somebody wait. So I say it was a planned attack. It was planned. It was planned that she was taken. That's my version of it. I mean, anybody else have any version? A predator just wasn't in the area and sit there on that hill and watch for 2 or 3 hours, kids play or whatever the hell, and wait for a moment to go, because they'd have to know. First off, they'd have to know the terrain. They'd have to know the time schedules of
but these
everything.
people that
Everybody
would,
has the clock, Jody. If you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, hold on one second. If you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning every day and you have to have coffee, then you have to have coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning. Everybody has what we call a repetitious timeline. Everybody has it. That's how a lot
no,
of people get caught.
no, they really don't. But here's the thing, Ernie. There's all kinds and varieties of predators, okay? But on top of that, you're discounting the fact that
Well,
there
tell me about that. The variety. I've never heard. Okay, so variety. Tell me about that. I want to learn more about that. Please tell me, please.
are all kinds of different predators that do all kinds of things for different reasons, and they all stalk and hunt in different ways. And some just do go off the spur of the moment type of shit, right? They see an opportunity. They're opportunists, more like scavengers than hunters, and others actually do hunt and prey. And they come up with plans, and that's part of what they get off on, is the planning and the plotting and the watching, and all of that, unseen, unknown, whatever. But here's the thing, Ernie, you're just counting the fact that there are dozens and dozens of people coming and going for this property sale that are out of state. You also have
Hold on.
two.
Wait. I was counting on the fact that you would do just like you just did. You just explained to me every single type of predator about it there was. Now, my question to you is, who taught you that? How did you know?
Well, Ernie, I'm pretty well educated. you
But where'd you
know
learn that at? Where'd you learn that at?
what do you mean? Where did I learn?
Where did you learn that at? That ain't taught in education purposes. That ain't taught like that.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
preterism is not even taught. That class you pretty much just taught me a class just now, but where did you learn that at? How did you know that there were certain types of this that get off on these certain plannings of this? You
I
see,
mean,
only experience of someone of that nature could even say that back to me and reply it that way.
I've been a
Not
victim of
Sandbar.
5 predators, Ernie, and because I've been around enough in my lifetime, I just spent 3 decades almost with one that is so monstrous you all can't believe it. Now we're turning around and trying to use it to further abuse me and my children in Tragedy Pimpville. And the mask is good, the cornbread's good, and it's not fun for us because you all have no idea how bad that was. Um, I've been around all kinds, Ernie, of monsters and predators. But on top of that, from the time I was very little, I've studied psychology for funsies, and I have educated myself uh, beyond what school
Okay.
building.
So you educated yourself through experience and through an endurance. Now, here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Jody Sue. Let me ask you a question. If you had one place to think where summer would be at, what would you say? Off the top of your head, right off the bat.
To me, if she's still here in the area,
Why would you say she's in the area? I say anywhere.
now I'm saying if she's here and in the
Okay.
area,
Okay.
and it was maybe over on the 15th, I would say that she's somewhere, probably in the woods, probably in one of the hollers with less eyeballs, somewhere in the woods between Ben Hill and Baileyton. That would be my guess.
But you said the woods was out of the question, though.
I
On the
mean,
property, right? On the property.
yeah, on the property. She's not on those properties. She's not inside Ben Hill.
So you think somebody's done away with her?
I mean, that's obviously a possibility, Ernie. And if she's alive, I don't know where she is.
But why would automatically, see, for me, I can't give up hope on a child's life. I never could.
I have
It's
hope
hard.
on it. I mean, I've stood here since the day and watched everybody else give up hope on her immediately before even dark and say she was dead and talk about her in past tense. And I was the only one that told all of these people just to wait, to give her a chance. It'd only been a couple hours, just to wait and give her a fucking chance because she might be able to get away. And we all knew she could run and fly like the wind. To give her a fucking chance. So I've not given up hope on Summer at all. I do not think that she's dead. I think there is a very good chance she's out there somewhere alive. But every day, every minute that passes, cannot be
Okay,
good.
so you say you think she's alive right now. You think she's alive?
I think there's a good possibility.
A good possibility. So let me ask you a question. Why automatically say if she's around the area? I didn't say
But
around the area. Where would you think she's at? Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world right now. Where would you think she's at? Anywhere.
and there's two options. She's alive, and I don't know where the hell she's at. Somewhere around the world. Or if it ended, chances are it, would have probably ended on the 15th, like others speculated before fucking dark, and I didn't take well to. And, I would say that she's somewhere, you know, between Ben Hill and Baileyton or so. But there's other things in there that you got to think that, you know, we all kind of know and things that y'all don't, but make certain things a possibility. Oh dear. Hey, Cotton Candy, here's a news flash. All children sometimes be brats. Wow.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, please keep praying for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Goodbye for now.